Fort TV, Ikara Osemerirwe.
Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome back to yet another episode of Mind Talks with Sandra, where we do bring to you mental health conversations live. Thank you so much for always tuning into Fort TV, and we are always here every Wednesday 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. as we are going to be digesting different mental health conversations, and we do believe that healing can start with just a simple conversation. So keep yourself on here every Wednesday 9 p.m. East African time to 10 p.m. and if you cannot catch us live on your TV, you can also get your Fort TV app, or you can always find us on YouTube live. Yes, thank you so much for always tuning in, and I'm your host Sandra Nachigozi. I'm a counselor by profession and a mental health advocate and a co-founder of Mind Care Network, an organization dedicated to supporting young people's mental health. And for anyone out there who is watching us, I do believe that you're doing an amazing job to watch us. Also tell a friend to tune in today. So, and I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking your time to sit in here with me. And as you're watching me, I want you to reflect on a day that maybe you got a disappointment, or maybe you went for a job that you badly wanted and you did not get it, or maybe when that friend of yours disappointed you, or maybe when you got that heartbreak, or maybe many things that have really happened to us as human beings, and maybe we had a lot of plans, or there are things that we did not expect. And most times we find ourselves sitting in pain, which you cannot even explain to someone out there. Like these things which happen to us really leave us with a lot of pain emotionally, and this pain is on our hearts. We don't have any way we can explain it to someone out there. It's not that it left you with a bandage, a bruise or something, but you also find you're also looking for better ways on how you can explain it to people, but you don't know. Maybe that situation or experience happened a long time ago, but you feel like every time you remember it still hurts. Or maybe you're still trying to find better ways on how you can heal. And remember, most of us weren't taught on how to sit in with our pain, on how maybe we have to face our pain, but we find ourselves maybe trying to run away from it just because we want to feel better, or we don't know how to go about it. You know, when we used to be in school, we used to solve math numbers. Like, we have solutions to math, numbers, science and all that, but when it comes to this emotional pain, we don't have a solution to it. We don't know how to really go about it. You feel like something is really hurting you, but you don't know even where to start from. You don't know how you can explain it to someone so that they can really understand what you are going through. I'm talking about the emotional pain, that pain that you have, like where you feel like you're holding or you're having a very heavy heart, but you don't even know how best you can explain it to someone to really understand you. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And if you're the kind of person who's really going through it, please keep yourself on, and you can also tell a friend to tune in to our show today. So thank you so much, and let's dive into our discussion today. And someone out there might be wondering, what could be emotional, what is emotional pain? Because if you're here, we're going to talk about emotional pain. How best can we go about it, and how can we first pause. So we want to know what is emotional pain. If you are maybe asking yourself, it is termed as a psychological distress someone goes through after a painful experience. That can be a heartbreak. Maybe you had someone you loved so much and they really had to disappoint you. That can be also letting go of a dream that you always wanted in your life. Or it can also be the loneliness. Maybe you have shifted to a new place, or maybe you're in a situation or in a society whereby you have no one, you feel like you have no friends, or you have no one to speak to. Sometimes we have a lot of people around us, but not because it is not that they're all our friends. So we can also feel the loneliness when we have a lot of people around us. What brings it about is because we do not have someone maybe we can confide in. So emotional pain really comes out in very different ways. Remember, our brain does not differentiate a physical pain, sorry, an emotional pain, like you getting a physical injury from you getting that pain. So it doesn't only affect your brain, it also affects your body also responds. That's why maybe it is really so hard. And the bad thing about emotional pain, it is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, you know, like it's not like maybe you have a bruise somewhere that you're going to look at and you're like, okay, this is a scar I have, I got it from here. No, it is at the heart. Like, you also don't know how best you can explain it. And surprisingly, most of us were always told to pray about it. You go through something and someone tells you pray about it, or it will come to pass, or stay strong. And surprisingly, people who always show that they're strong, or who do not react to those bad experiences, we always call them strong. Yet maybe they're just showing a strong face, but inside they're dying. Remember, emotional pain can also be seen through you always being irritated easily, the business, or meaning you always being busy, yeah? And also you as a person always showing up a happy face. The nature sense you cry yourself to bed. You know, sometimes it is really so hard to even to comprehend, because I don't know how I can really bring this point out, but emotional pain is something that is really so hard to explain to people. Have you ever been in a situation whereby you have to tell people that you're okay, but deep down, you know, you feel like your heart is really shutting down. You feel like many things are not really working out for you, or you feel like many things are really going berserk. And it's not always that people who are broke are the one who are going through emotional pain. Even the happiest people, those people whom you see posting nice pictures and all that, maybe they are covering something in there. That's why you see someone posting a very beautiful picture, a very beautiful event and all that, and then after a few days they chill, that person maybe died, or they are battling with depression, and you're like, hey, this person has really been showing off, or this person has been seeming to be a happy person and all that. So emotional pain really is something that most of us really cannot, we aren't taught on how to deal with it, because every time who is really so great at pretending to be strong, you're always praised in the society. You're like, oh man, you're able to go through this, you're so strong and all that. But in actual sense, we weren't told to deal with it. Your child, I remember when you were young, and when a child falls, they'd be like, Totumulayo, look the other side. That person shouldn't see you, shouldn't look at you like that kid shouldn't notice that you saw her or him falling down. So we grew up in such a situation. And also, maybe if you're a boy, maybe you are going through certain things, they say you're a man, you gotta keep to be strong, you have to keep that strong face, you don't need to show people that you're weak. So you're like, okay, let me die with my own. So we weren't taught on how to deal with emotional pain. We weren't taught on how to deal with disappointments. We weren't taught on how to deal with heartbreaks. We weren't taught, we don't know what to do. So you're like, where should I start? Can I tell people that I'm heartbroken? They're going to judge you. We've been seeing people here on social media, like TikTok Live, someone comes out, they're crying, and people are really, really making funny comments. Ojakuli Mosaga, Tewali Atalikaba, Mpawa Atalikaba, like many things. So you're like, instead of coming out and tell people what I'm going through, let me just die with my problem. So when you meet them, you show them that you're so happy, life is really going on so well, everything is really doing so great. But in actual sense, Bambi, you're really, really dying from the inside. So what could be the causes of emotional pain? I've talked about them. I've talked about a few of them, but let me add more on them, sorry. Yes, we have the disappointments from the people that we treasured the most. Yeah, that can also cause emotional pain. We also have the disappointment from people, all the heartbreak that we always get from people. And also maybe it can be a job. Me, I remember there's a time I was really bad love. I really wanted a job, but everywhere I could go, they could always turn me down. And that thing started to make me feel like as if Like, you know, the things that there's something that you're really dying to get, you're yearning to get it, and you know you have the abilities, you have the skills and all that, but every day you want, every time you try out to seek for it, it's like as if it is extending away from you. That's how I used to feel. And I remember I got from I went for the interview, and this guy was like, you know what, I'll tell you the truth, we're not going to take you in. Like, not telling me you go back, we shall call you, we shall send you a message, we shall do this. He was like, you know what, we're not taking you in, we're going to take your colleague. And I just remembered everything that I went through to get to that place, because I remember I had to walk a lot to print out the papers and all that. I had to come, we waited from around 8, and my interview was at around midday. I was so hungry, I left home without eating. Like, I thought about everything, and I'm like, God, what did I do to you to always make me go through this? Because I felt like by that time, I felt like however much I was putting in so much efforts and all that, it's like as if I was washing and hanging in the dust. So that is the time I felt like everything was shutting down, and I got a border to go back home, and I found myself crying from nowhere. So I was like, maybe people, the things you don't want to get ashamed that you're crying and all that. So I was like, people will think it is the wind on the border that is really bringing the tears out of me. But actually, since I was so much dying from the inside, and it kept on haunting me, sorry. And days passed, and I felt like, no, God, I've really been putting in so much attention. I've really been applying. Guys, I applied for different jobs, and it affected me somehow, somewhere, and it even affected my confidence. Like, I felt like maybe whatever I say in the interview rooms has a problem or what. Oh God, I don't want to even remember about it, but I thank God I had to survive it. But anyways, everyone has a way they go. Everyone can get emotional pain, because life is full of ups and downs. You never know what will disappoint you. We always plan, but maybe they always say God has the last say. We always plan, and we're excited to execute our plans. We're excited to get what we have planned, but sometimes they do not go as we've planned. And also, by the way, no one has taught us on how to go about the grieving. You know, you've lost someone you loved dearly, and that person dies. Like, no one told us how to go about that. They just tell us to stay strong. They always tell us to keep in there, to pray about it, things will be better and all that. But it's not easy as it is. You know, it is easy to tell someone, pray about it, stay strong. But if it is you going through it, my love, it's really something that is really hard. And so when we lose our loved ones, it's also another heartbreak, you know. Oh my God, I don't want to even think about it. But emotional pain, oh God, like you don't have anyone to show, but you feel like you're dying, you know. And most of us really, by the emotional pain can also be caused by maybe like us doing exams. I remember when I was still doing SCCA, there was a time I failed a paper, but I felt like I put in so much, oh God, so much time. I had to revise. You know, have you ever left a paper when you're like, I've smashed this, and results came back, I had 49. Oh my God, those who have done SCCA, you know, I was doing performance management. So I've remembered about those days. Oh God. So I left the paper. I felt like, okay, today I've really smashed the paper so bad. I'm really great at it and all. You know, the pass mark was 50. If you've done SCCA, you know, you're just aiming at getting 50, that's all. But guys, I got 49. Hey, do you know how hard that is? How heartbreaking that is? So everyone really gets emotional pain due to the experiences that they have gone through. And remember, everyone experiences life differently. Some experiences might not affect me the way they affect you. Someone might go through a heartbreak and they stay no more, or maybe they were like, we shall find a better person. And then there is someone else who will be like, oh, who will cry over it, who will spend sleepless nights thinking about that heartbreak. So everyone experiences life differently, so we do not have the same life. So, and there's something that I always wonder, or there's something that I always ask myself. I don't know, we all human beings, we know that life is not supposed to be straight, right? But I wonder why every time we get disappointments, it hits us a lot, me inclusive. I'm not excluding myself, but it's something that I'm still thinking about. It's like we all know people are supposed to die. We all know we can't be the happiest all the time. We all know life is full of ups and downs, but when we get to those downs, it takes us so long to comprehend. It is because we are just human. We were just humans, and it's something I just want to read more about, to get to know why is it that we know, you know that everyone has to die, but when you lose someone, it's like you cry yourself out, sorry, and you feel like this shouldn't happen to me, you know. But deep down, you know someone has to die. You also have to die. But surprisingly, we cannot get used to pain. You know, that's what I want to say. We cannot get used to pain. Pain will always be there. But how to deal with the pain is what matters. And surprisingly, most of us weren't taught to deal with pain. We were just told to always stay strong, to always bring up a straight face and all that. So let's find out how best can you really support yourself or support someone who might be going through an emotional pain. You know, sometimes, oh, by the way, let's first get to know how can a person who is going through emotional pain looks like. Sometimes it can be someone who is used to be jolly, so welcoming, so social, and now they're trying to isolate themselves. Like, this boy or this girl used to be so social, they used to be so outgoing. What's up? What could be the issue? And also we have those people who, you know, that person, they really went through something that is really hard, but they're happy. Like, it's not a problem to be happy. But sometimes you have to know that any person who goes through let me take an example. Someone lost their loved ones, the person they really dearly loved, and then they are the one that are supporting during the burial. They are welcoming everyone. They are not crying. They are not. You question yourself, like, why is this person not crying? So instead of mocking them, sometimes just need to have a deeper conversation with them. Those people, maybe some of them, I learned that some of them just put on that face because they feel like other people have come to to help them bury their loved ones, and if they see them breaking, so then who will support them? Or maybe this person, let me say they are the firstborns, they have their followers. So I feel like if my young sister sees me breaking, now who is going to comfort her? So they just keep that strong face. So if you see that kind of a person, at least question that and be like, but this person, every much they're showing a happy face, maybe they are really go, but you still have that pain on your heart. But you still have that pain on your heart. Nothing has happened, nothing has triggered it, but you just feel. So in simple terms, let me give you a simple step-by-step steps that you can follow, by the way, on how you can go over about or you can heal from emotional pain. Number one, acknowledge the pain. Sometimes you cannot heal from from something that you've not acknowledged or you've not accepted. It's okay. Accept that you're hurting. Things really happen to you, and accept and acknowledge it. Like, okay, I'm really hurting. Number two, feel your pain. Yeah, give yourself time to grieve. And by the way, let me take you through how people respond to emotional pain. If you need to cry, please cry. Like, be in that pain, like feel the emotions, because the better way to, when you like, you will not avoid the emotions every time. Just give yourself time to feel them. And also talk to someone. Step 3, talk to someone. It can be a counselor, it can be a friend, it can be anyone that you can confide in. It's okay, you can speak to someone. And number 4, take care of yourself. It can be through exercising, sleeping, having that good sleep, a balanced diet, anything. And then number 5, give yourself time. You know, some of us, every time we try to do certain things, we feel like this pain has to go away. Like, definitely, like if I do this and this and this, if I speak to someone, if I go for therapy, if I practice mindfulness, if I do exercises, this pain has to go away. Mukwan, you've had that pain for some good time. We don't expect it to go away. And do not think that you're going to feel the pain just at once. You're still feeling you're still feeling the pain. So give yourself time and grace, and have it in your mind that I'm gonna heal, but it's gonna take me some time. Yeah. So you try to handle yourself with a lot of kindness and compassion, right? So, and by the way, even if you've been trying to do these things, you're trying to speak to someone, trying to practice self-care and all that, and things sometimes fail, like, oh, it's like as if I'm going back to the same pain and all that. No, it shows that you're just human. Relapse is part of life. It's part of the healing process. What you don't have to do is to give up. Do not give up. Just continue from where you stopped and start to do certain step. You incorporate those steps I've told you, and I do believe that you feel better. And by the way, if you feel like this emotional pain has gone beyond, it is now distracting you from even your work, it has caused you a lot of pain, like it is too much pain, and it is now interfering with your day-to-day work. You know, as a person who used to go in for goals, used to do your work, used to do many things for yourself, and right now you can't even lay your bed, you can't even leave your bed, or you can't even perform at work, or you can't distract you from whatever you're supposed to do. Please and please, this is a sign for you to deliberately, like, to go and seek for professional help, because if you do not, it might affect you in other ways. It can cause you depression and more other illnesses. Remember, some of these mental health illnesses that we get, they do not come from anywhere. Like, they don't come out of the blue and they attack us. Or even the diseases we're having, they don't just come out of the blue. Sometimes they come from untreated emotional pain, untreated stress, untreated anxieties. So they always pile and they bring you more problems. So if you feel like this pain is really causing you a lot of distress, and it is interfering with your work or with your day-to-day work, please and please run. Do not walk, just run and seek for professional help. And by the way, let me take you through how people respond to emotional pain. Not everyone cries, by the way. No, not everyone cries. Some people throw themselves in unhealthy relationships to cover up the emotional pain. Have you seen people who are heartbroken, or maybe someone disappoints them and they're like, Kamfuna Gatao, I will heal from the other relationship. So don't even think you just just because someone is there, you're like, I will heal from here. Sometimes emotional pain, yeah. Some people, Bambi, they resort to doom scrolling. Someone you scroll, you're like, let me just scroll, not until I get tired. Some of us will resort to taking drugs, alcohol, just to feel like, okay, when I do this, I'll feel better. And another thing, what you have to know is that even if you run away from emotional pain, it will find its way back to you through anxieties, unhealthy relationships, numbness, irritability, you becoming addicted. Like, it will always find its way back. And if it finds its way back to you, like I always say, even if you suppress emotions, It's like as if you're having a plastic bag. You fill in some maybe thing, some water. You try, excuse me, you try to press it. So if that bag has some holes, water will find its way out. That's how emotions are. When you suppress the emotions, they will always find their way back. They will always find their way back to you. So that's how some, and by the some of us, we run away, we avoid these emotions, not because we do not want to face them, but we feel like if I face these emotions, I will cry and I'll never stop to cry. If I face these emotions, it will break me so much apart. If I face these emotions, I'll show that I'm weak. If I face these emotions, it will take me so much time to heal. That's what most of us think. So what we do, we always avoid the emotions. You feel like if you start to talk about it, you're like, if I start to talk about it, I'll never stop. I never stop to talk about what hurt me. So let me just avoid it. To avoid the crying, to avoid the being taken up, to avoid the being smashed apart and all that. That's how some of us really run away from our emotions. And let me give you some simple ways on how best you can really work on your emotions. Okay, on how you can go about the emotional pain. One thing that you should do is seek for professional help. Like if you go through something that is really so heavy and you feel like it is really hard for you to contain, please and please, it's okay. You can seek for professional help. We people, we are trained. We counselors, we are trained to give you technical support. We are trained to give you technical support on how best you can, go about life challenges and be able to bounce back, And also, you can speak to a trusted friend. Sometimes you just need to, if you have that friend you can speak to, it doesn't mean that you should always, people ask you, how are you? Like, think of the days that you've lied that you're okay, but in actual sense, you are dying. Anyways, mind you, we are all raised. I remember the time we were learning the how are you, I'm okay. Like, we were taught, if someone asks you, how are you? You respond by, I'm okay. So maybe it's something that we are used to. Like, we are used to always saying that we are okay. But once in a while, call that friend and confide in them so that you can feel a bit relieved. And another thing, that if you have no friends, you can always adjust to writing, journaling your emotions, how you're feeling, from like pour out whatever you are feeling at that moment, regardless of, like, pour out. If you hate writing like me, you can always listen. You can always record yourself or speak alone, talk alone. This is me. I have two personalities. I have two people in me. I have that person I always talk to. It's insane, right? So I always tell them how my day was, how I feel, what I regret, what I had to do. And surprisingly, there's a way it makes me feel a bit relieved. And sometimes I do record myself and I record how I feel. I speak out how I feel. Sometimes you just need to pour out whatever you're feeling. And another thing, you can do exercise. Exercising is really so good, because depression, thoughts and all that, they hate a moving body. Like, when you divert yourself to doing other things, there's a way you do not have to sit there in your thoughts alone, cry alone and all that. Start moving around. Teach yourself to move around, to do exercises. There's a way to also relaxes your mind, so that you can really have that relaxed mind, and that relaxed mind can help you even make good decisions or informed decisions. So another thing that we can do, let's try to get more hobbies. You don't need to, this emotional pain can also force you to be more busier, so that you don't want to think about whatever that you're going through. I'm not saying that. Sometimes just have hobbies. Learn to do things that you really enjoy. Not becoming a workaholic and all that. You can choose to get a better thing that you can do for yourself that you really, really, really enjoy to do. It can be watching movies. It can be swimming. It can be going out for a walk. or going out, not taking the things, but just going out with friends to have fun, like those things, so that you can also be live again. You can also get to know that life can also be lived than being always in worries, always in tears and all that. And also another thing that you can do is to do self-care, because you're the engine of your life, so you get to take care of yourself all the time, that you can take that balanced diet, exercise, as I say, do that skincare if you can, take that bath, take that shower, please, if you can. Yes, clean your space, your environment, so that you can also live in a very clean space. Yes, whatever that you can to care for yourself, please do it. Yes, because you're the engine of your life. And another thing, somebody balavi balungi, thank you so much for keeping yourself on for TV. Thank you so much, really appreciate it. And before I leave, I want to tell you something. Healing does not you to heal doesn't mean that you're going to erase whatever that happened to you, but it means you reaching a point or a place where whatever happened to you has no control over how you live. Yes, your pain has a voice, but it has no say on how you're supposed to live. So you are allowed to heal, you are allowed to grieve whatever happened to you, but that pain doesn't have control over how you have to live. So try so much harder to heal. Yes, you have a chance to try again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Never stop, please. Not until you feel like this pain has no control over how I am supposed to live. Thank you so much, and I have been your host, Sandra. I'm a counselor by profession, a mental health advocate, and the co-founder of the Mind Care Network. And in case you have been triggered by this discussion, please feel free to seek for support. You can as well follow me on my socials, Natural Sandra. Yes, on all the socials, that's the name I use. So thank you so much. You've been great listeners, and you've been great. You've watched us. Yes, you listen while watching us, right? Thank you so much. And we always have this show every Wednesday, 9 p.m. East African time to 10 p.m. right? So we are always here to talk about these mental health conversations openly, because we believe healing can just start with a simple conversation. So keep yourself on for TV, and in case you can't see us on your TV, you can download the 4TV app. You can watch us from our YouTube live and or TikTok live. Thank you so much. Bye. Good night.
Fort TV, ikara osemerirwe.